Most people expect wealth to feel dramatic, big changes, instant freedom, applause. But real wealth is nearly invisible. 82% of self-made millionaires quietly plan years ahead, automate wins, and let routines, not emotions, drive growth. The truth is, if your life feels ordinary, even a bit dull, you might be passing the real tests of getting rich and not even recognize it. So why does true progress feel so underwhelming, and which signs matter most before you ever feel rich? A quiet ledger sits open on a kitchen table. Each line tells the same story. Rent, utilities, groceries, nearly every bill expected, every amount steady. For most, this kind of order feels ordinary, almost forgettable. But beneath the surface, it is one of the strongest engines of real wealth. When 70% of your expenses are predictable and only 30% shift month to month, you are not just budgeting, you are building a financial buffer against chaos. The average American pays $1,200 a year for late fees, surprise charges, and overdrafts. But those with calm, regular bills sidestep most of it. The difference is more than dollars. Predictable expenses free up mental space. There is no scrambling on payday, no anxiety over which card will clear. That space becomes the ground where bigger plans take root. Some people track this progress with a simple heat map, a calendar of green and yellow showing which days money flows in or out. Others, like a mid-career engineer, set their savings to auto-increase every January. Years pass, and without fanfare, their net worth climbs. This engineer, earning a steady salary, watched mortgage statements shrink and retirement balances grow. There was no windfall, no viral moment, just a slow, automatic climb. Over time, the habit of thinking in years, not paydays, reshapes everything. 82% of self-made millionaires plan this way, setting goals for 5, 10, even 20 years ahead. Their focus shifts from today's paycheck to the curve of compound growth. Month after month, the routine feels almost dull. But this is where quiet wealth begins, in the calm of bills you expect, and in the long view that lets small decisions add up. The real reward is not a sudden jackpot. It is the steady math that works in your favor year after year. Saying no is one of the most underrated financial skills. Each time you pass on an impulse buy, a trendy gadget, or a night out that does not fit your priorities, you quietly redirect money toward your future. Social comparison drives about 30% of all impulse purchases. Most people do not realize how much this habit leaks away over years. The difference shows up in the margins. People who consistently say no to what does not matter save 15 to 20% more than their peers. Every no is compound interest on your future. But discipline alone does not build wealth. Systems do. When your money moves automatically, when savings, investments, and bills run on autopilot, progress happens in the background. Automation is not just about convenience. People who set up automatic transfers of at least 10% of their income end up with 2.5 times the net worth after 5 years compared to those who move money manually. The stress drops too, 28% lower on average, because there is less room for second-guessing or forgetting. Automation turns willpower into a one-time decision. The moment your paycheck lands, a portion can flow straight to savings, retirement, or a brokerage account without any extra effort. This hands-free approach is why fintech users who automate even a modest slice of income see steady growth year after year. The best systems capture your good intentions before they get spent elsewhere. If willpower is required, the system is not finished. Beneath the surface, these habits compound. Each time you say no, you create a small surplus. Each time a system captures that surplus automatically, your net worth grows, quietly, invisibly. Over time, the routine feels almost boring. Boredom is often a sign you are doing it right. Most people imagine wealth as a rush, with fast trades, big wins, and a constant stream of excitement. But the truth is, genuine progress often feels like nothing at all. 60% of steady investors simply scroll past, get rich-quick pitches, unmoved by the latest crypto surge or a viral stock. Instead, they favor the quiet rhythm of index funds and automatic deposits. The absence of hype is not a lack of ambition. It is a sign the system is working. Boredom, in this case, is a quiet form of confidence. But even the calmest system needs a safety net. The classic benchmark is a buffer covering 3 to 6 months of essential expenses. For most, that means enough to absorb a $5,000 car repair or a sudden layoff without panic. This is not just theory. 90% of financial derailments are prevented by having this cushion in place. It is less about the exact number and more about the habit of planning for what could go wrong and knowing you will land on your feet. Picture a nondescript sedan parked in a driveway. Its owner, a mid-30s professional, gets the call. The transmission is shot. The repair bill comes in at $4,000. 10 years ago, that would have meant a credit card spiral or frantic calls to family. Now, with a buffer built quietly over years, the payment clears and life goes on. The event barely registers, a headache, not a crisis. That is the difference a buffer makes. It turns emergencies into inconveniences, not catastrophes. This kind of resilience does not win applause, and it rarely feels like a milestone. But it is the silent guardrail that keeps long-term plans intact. When you are immune to hype and protected from shocks, wealth stops being a gamble and starts becoming a steady, almost boring reality. A teacher in her early 40s sits down each spring to review her finances. Her salary hasn't changed much in years, but her life feels lighter than it did a decade ago. She chose this path for the control it offers: predictable hours, summers off, and a margin that lets her sleep at night. That margin, the difference between what comes in and what absolutely must go out, has quietly grown. She could earn more elsewhere, but the trade-off is not worth it. 40% of mid-career professionals say they would rather have more control over their time and stress, even if it means taking home 10 or 20% less. For them, margin is the real measure of progress. It is not about the size of the paycheck, it is about the space to breathe. Stress follows a different curve when margin grows. Studies show a 35% drop in financial anxiety among people who prioritize control over income. They do not worry as much about the next bill or the next job. Their systems protect them, not just their salaries. It is a quiet kind of power, one that does not show up in headlines or highlight reels. But perception rarely matches reality. More than half of people with solid savings and 6 months of expenses set aside still feel like they are behind. Social media distorts the view. 55% of those with over $250,000 in net worth report feeling inadequate after scrolling through endless feeds of curated wins. The hedonic treadmill makes even big gains feel ordinary after a while. Progress becomes invisible, drowned out by the next comparison. A software tester logs into her MoneyOS dashboard. She is 33, with a net worth of $45,000 and a 6-month buffer. For months, she has felt stuck. Instagram always seems to show someone doing better. But the dashboard tells a different story: steady automation, no missed bills, and a quiet curve that bends upward. The discomfort comes from the gap between how progress feels and how it actually unfolds. Real wealth is built in the space between what you earn and what you keep. Control protects you, even when it feels like you are not moving fast enough. Today, over 70% of Americans say they feel financially behind, even as quiet, consistent habits build real security. In an age obsessed with instant results, true wealth hides in routines, not headlines. If you are moving forward, even slowly, you are not missing out. You are quietly winning. Thanks for watching.